Okay, so I want to start by finding, I'm going to do this Mythical Hybrids or Unholy Mixtures project, and I'll start by finding a wolf because that's what was suggested. And I'm going to be in DuckDuckGo here. So I'm going to say wolf, wolf, W-O-L-F, wolf. And again, I like being in DuckDuckGo because DuckDuckGo lets me see the images nicely. I want to make sure that whatever picture I choose is going to be large enough and has a background that I could use for the whole thing. So this is 1200 by 800. It's not quite big enough. Maybe this one here. This wolf seems to be kind of a nice wolf. So I'm going to view this file. It's taking a little while. Doesn't want me to use that one, I guess. Try a different one. Oops. Seems that this school may have blocked it. So I'll just take this one right here. This seems reasonable. Say view file. And I'm going to copy this, copy image. And I'm going to open Photoshop. And when I create a new file in Photoshop, it comes up automatically as the same size as the image that I copied. So I'm just going to go with that for now and say create and paste it. Say okay. So I've got this wolf, and notice that he's looking straight, or she is looking, or they are looking straight at me. And so I want to create a picture of myself that's looking straight on. I can't, if I take a picture of myself and I'm looking off to the side, that's not going to work. So I'm going to go into my photo booth, and I'm going to look just at the camera the same way. It's this camera over here, and I need to turn on my little light because I've got not great light. So I want to look straight at the camera like I'm that wolf. Okay. And I'm going to take that image of me looking at the wolf. I'm going to drag it from photo booth into here. So now I have these two different pictures. I have on one layer me, and on one layer a wolf. And I have the picture of my face that's right here. So tune into this. The first thing I want to do is take my opacity of this down to about 50%. Doesn't have to be exact, but I want to be able to see both things at the same time. See how I could see me and the wolf? And I want to line up the eyes because that's what makes it work the best when the eyes are lined up. So I'm going to go Command T, and I'm going to bring this down and move it around to get the eyes lined up as close as I can get them. And that's actually pretty close right there. You can see it already starts looking pretty interesting. You can see that my face is right there. And it would be one thing to turn the wolf into me. It's another to turn me into the wolf. And I'm going to have to make those decisions, which part I want to have be me and which part I want the wolf. My nose is a little bit higher. So I'm actually going to duplicate this. I'm going to create a second one that's going to be more for my nose and mouth. So the nose is here. I could decide if I want the mouth there. I'm going to go Command T again. And this one will be for the nose and mouth, and I'll try to get them lined up reasonably well. I have to decide, do I want to keep my mouth or the wolf's mouth and nose? Come down like this. Holding Command, I'll stretch myself a little bit to get it to line up. So I'm going to hide this one and go back to this one with the eyes. So the first thing I want to do right now, I've got this lined up nicely. You see how it's lined up nicely? So I'm going to come down here and create what's called a layer mask. So this is new for us. So I'm going to come down here to the layer mask. And what this does is create a new piece of artwork that's right next to this piece of artwork. But this is a mask. And right now the mask has nothing in it. But if I go to my paintbrush tool and I paint with black, and I have a soft brush, and I paint with black, not on the picture itself, but on the mask, then it's going to erase. I'm hitting right bracket to get that bigger. It's going to erase this picture around me of this, all this stuff. I'm going to erase all this. but I'm not really erasing it because if I come back here, see what I've done over here is I've painted black into the mask. But if I swap those colors with this, I could paint white into the mask so I could bring it all back. So I'm erasing, but I'm not really erasing because I'm using a mask to erase. And the reason we do that is it's non-destructive. So I could actually erase everything. It's all gone, except I want to bring back these eyes. So I'm going to bring white here, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to paint and just bring my eyes into it. And I actually have a stylus that I'm going to work with so I could be kind of gentle and sensitive with it to get it to be pretty smooth. And I could take this and take my paintbrush and decide what I want to be gone and what I want to be there. So I'm making my brush bigger and smaller with the left and right bracket keys. So I'm going here and getting rid of this. Now the color of my skin is a little pink and the color of the wolf is a little bit more yellow and brown. So maybe I want to have the color of my skin behind there be a little different. So I'm going to click on the picture of my face right here and do Command U for hue saturation, Command U. And I'll just change the color of my skin a little bit to make it match a little closer. That actually looks pretty nice. And I could go back in here. Maybe I want around the whites of my eyes to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to come over here to my dodge tool, which is underneath this. It came right up. Sometimes it'll be down here. It's this one. And I'll go to dodge highlights and I'll just paint a little bit into the white of my eyes to make them become a little bit more white. Now I want to go to this layer, the second layer, and I'm going to create a mask as well on it. And in this mask, I'm going to do the same thing with my brush and black. I want to paint black into this layer. And I'm going to get rid of everything here except for around my nose and mouth. I have to decide now what part of my mouth I want to have be part of this image and what part of my face. So I'm going to go make this 100% to bring it back so it's got my nose and mouth. Get rid of that other garbage around there. So I'm just painting black into this. Now I'm going to paint white into this. I have my mouth and nose. So now I have to make decisions. Do I include just my nose? Do I leave the wolf's nose and mouth? Not exactly sure yet. So I'm going to take my opacity of this down quite a bit and just kind of build it up. So if I have a stylus, so it's a little bit nicer for me with the stylus to do this. And I'm not sure. I think definitely my mouth, maybe the wolf's nose. I don't know if I could nicely blend that nose into my nose or what the point of it would be. So I think I'm sticking with the wolf's nose. But I'll use my mouth. That's the wolf's mouth, but I'll just give it my mouth. So I'll totally get rid of all that and then just take white and it's a little to the side, so I'm going to bring it take that opacity down. Probably not a problem to bring in some of the pink from there, from my skin. I'm not sure. I mean, this is just where the decisions are made. Like, is it better to keep one one part of it or the other. I'm clicking this little swapping thing to go back and forth between black and the pink. And I want to move that mouth over a little bit. So I'll move the whole thing. And I want to change, want to make sure I don't paint on the picture, but in the mask. I always forget, you know, if I should be in white or black. So I got to kind of go back and forth to get to the right thing. And I'm going to do Command U again on this to just get the color of it a little bit closer to the wolf. So it's my face, but it's kind of like wolfy, you know, in that color there. So that's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. I think that if I go, maybe it's a little too white there. Just paint some of the skin around it. And then the final step is just to save it for the thing. So if I go File, Save As, or just save because I haven't saved yet, I definitely want to save as a Photoshop. So the 3-letter code for this is MYT. So I'll call it Blonder. Put this cord in the way 1 second. Blonder R. Oops. MYT as a Photoshop file. I'm saving mine on my desktop. And then I'll go File, Save As, and I'll change this to JPEG. And I'll save that to the desktop as well. And that's how you do that. You stop the recording.